Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com. So again, in case the background looks different, not that anyone really cares, I'm going around the house, so I'm taking pictures or videos everywhere, every room. We'll see what happens, how I make out. So I just really wanted to talk about quickly, I just beat Silent Hill Homecoming. And at first I was really impressed. I loved the first scene, the initial. This whole video is going to be spoilers and just me rambling and stuff. So if you haven't played it and you want to play it, don't watch the rest of the video. The first scene was amazing because I love Jacob's Ladder. It's one of my favorite films. So as soon as Alex, the protagonist, is getting gurneyed down the hallway and he's bumping into things and talking to the doctor and flipping out and he's, wearing like a medical uniform, military uniform, totally rip off of Jacob's Ladder. So right away I was like, yes, this is awesome. So I was very involved. Oh, Stella's coming. So, there's a couple of things I didn't like about the game. Actually, there's many things, but you didn't like the game either? So, let me put her up here. I know, you want to be on video. I know. Okay, come on. Let's do this. So, there's a couple things I didn't like, but it detracted from the whole overall experience, but I still liked the game overall. One of the things was the save points seemed to be a little sparse. I don't know if it was just me. They felt like they were further apart than normal. That might have just been because the game is very, very action-oriented. The game has a ton of fighting. So where other Silent Hills give you the option, like, run by things and not fight them. See? She was a critic, too. This one, you have to pretty much fight everything. If you don't, they chase you. Unless you're in an open street, then you can run past. But otherwise, you have to fight it. I mean, if it's in like a hallway with you and there's no other exit or the exit's like behind them, that's it. You have to fight. The thing with the fighting mechanic I didn't like was, besides the fact that it was so frequent, was that you have to dodge. So it's not like in the second and third game where you just kind of throw your arm and smack the shit out of something and kind of strafe back and forth like, Jake LaMotta. In this one, you have to like actually push a dodge button, then there's like a hard attack and a light attack. You can combo them together, which was very strange. So you have to like really get the rhythm down in some cases with bad guys and like duck and weave, kind of like dodge out of the way and then smack them. And then sometimes the rhythms were different, no matter when you played it. Even if you face the same character again, let's say you face the same bad guy again down the line, his rhythm might have been a little different for some reason. It just felt a little annoying and hard to me in that regard. I also did not like that the bad guys respawn sometimes. So if you have to get to a checkpoint or some kind of FMV or whatever, not FMV, see, Sega CDs in my brain. If you have to get to some kind of cutscene and you don't make it to it, and you want to scope the area out, find items, whatever, you really can't sometimes because the monsters keep reappearing until you get to the next cutscene and miss the whole area you were in. Like there was this one point where you're in a police station and you meet the deputy or the sheriff or whatever he is, and he's following you and he's shooting monsters and he's telling you which way to go, and he then sends you on your own for a moment, and these two, what the hell they call it? I can't think of the names. They have like pendulum heads that open up, kind of. They come after you, and after I killed them, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they kicked the shit out of me. Let me start looking around for things. Two more just appeared out of nowhere and blocked me into a corner and kept killing me. It took me like 5 tries. Stuff like that frustrated me, that enemies respawn until you get to scenes. I thought that was kind of goofy. I didn't like that aspect. The game wasn't as creepy or atmospheric as the original titles, I didn't play 1, but as 2 and 3. Doesn't mean it's bad, it's just definitely not as atmospheric. I give them kudos for really trying to take an old formula and push it into the new generation in, I guess it was 2008, with Homecoming, because it's like they said, alright, well, let's make it a little more action-y for the people that want an action game, because most people now, well, not most, but a lot of people, they're in like that Call of Duty era where everyone's playing quick shooters and like wants action, instant gratification. And to try and do that for people, or at least implement some of it, I thought that was a good idea, even though I personally didn't like the action too much, or the fighting system a great deal. I still thought it was good that they tried. The graphics were really nice. They really tried to boost the graphics for an HD, new generation Silent Hill. Downpour looks even better, but I have yet to play it. But anything I see, I'm blown away by in terms of graphics. If you see me looking to the side, it's not that I have like glaucoma. It's because I wrote a couple things down that I wanted to touch upon so I didn't forget. I think that was really it. There was a couple little cool tie-ins. At the very beginning of the game, you end up getting out of a like a truck and going to your hometown, and the trucker with you is Travis Grady from Origins, so that was a cool nod, even though I did not like Origins personally. The story is cool. You're this military guy, and you come home, and everything's all fucked up, and your town's getting like fog everywhere. It looks like Silent Hill kind of. There's fog everywhere. There's only like a couple people left, and people are disappearing and getting murdered, and you don't know why, and everything's really screwed up, and you have like this bond, or it almost seems like you had a fling when you were younger with the one of the sheriffs or the deputy sheriffs, and then like your mom's in like this comatose state who just like sits in a rocking chair and talks to herself. The other problem I had with the game was I really liked the story. The issue was two things. The endings were very abrupt and short. Very abrupt and short. Right? Like you, small. The ending seemed very short. I felt like they could have did 5-minute endings for each and it would have been great. Not that the previous titles had 5-minute endings, but you get my drift. The ending seemed short. They also didn't really let you know what was happening till the like last act, kind of, or second to last act. The main thing, spoilers, stop here if you don't want to get spoiled on the game. The main thing is, you were never in the military, your character. He is suppressing, he had murdered his younger brother. So it's you, your dad, your mom, and your younger brother, Josh. You had murdered your younger brother by mistake. You were trying to grab something from him that your dad gave you because you have this like jealousy thing going on. Your dad's like a military man and he's favoring your younger brother. And you grab this ring, it's like a family crest type thing, and the kid falls off this boat, smacks his head, and dies. So now you find out at the very end of the game that there was some kind of pact between the Silent Hill Order, like the bad cult, and your town to keep it safe. By why they got involved in the first place, I didn't really understand, but that the order says if you kill one of your children for us every so many years or whatever allotted period of time, we will leave your town alone and it'll be okay. If you don't, we're gonna like wreak havoc on your town and do all this crazy shit. That's what happens. You were supposed to be the one to be sacrificed. You weren't, because you killed your brother, fucked up the order of things, and then all this crazy stuff starts happening. So each of the bosses is associated with a demon that has to do with the child that got killed or sacrificed for the town, including your brother is the part of the last boss. But none of this comes out till the very, very end. So by the time I got to the end, I was, oh, that was cool. And then I watched the ending, and like the good ending is you make it out with the girl and you save the deputy who's most people don't like. They say he's like a stereotypical black character and that he's goofy, and they wanted, at one point you get a choice to kill him or let him live, and they're like, he was so stereotypical and annoying that I didn't like him. But I personally thought he was fine. I mean, he was funny, he was interesting. I actually liked him. I thought, this is kind of a cool character, and he's got my back in the game with his shotgun. But to each their own in that regard. Another ending is the UFO ending, which is the one I got, where you get away, everything's fine, and then a UFO comes and just sucks you up. No cameo by any other characters from Silent Hill in that ending, which sucked, and no Mira, the Shiba Inu dog from 2, which I like seeing in the UFO endings. Then one ending, you get turned into Pyramid Head with the other Pyramid Heads. Why Pyramid Head's in this game, I don't know, because it's supposed to be James Sunderland from 2's own imagination or own, purgatory or hell. So why Pyramid Head's in this game too, I don't get. But, I guess who doesn't like Pyramid Head? They just throw him in at this point. Then another ending is your dad drowns you in a bathtub and sacrifices you, and then the game ends. And then the final one is you're on an operating table in a mental institution, because this is where you really were. You were in a mental institution. You weren't in the military. You were in the war, and you, like I said, suppressed your memories and tried finding your brother, thinking he was still alive or not knowing where he was or what was happening. But the whole time you were really in a mental institution, and you were just playing it off like you were a soldier, trying to be strong and make your father like you and show that you were going to do something right, even though really you screwed up and you didn't do something right. So Yeah, you're in a mental institution in the final ending, and they're doing shock therapy and the game ends. So the endings were okay. I feel like they were really short. None of them really did it for me. I felt like I needed a little more character development with especially the deputy character woman that he has I thought he had a fling with, a crush on. There wasn't enough development in the characters. But it was cool. You get different endings by making different choices near the end of the game. I'd give the whole game 6.5, maybe a 7. I'd say I liked it a little better than 4 because 4's structuring, the room, wasn't my favorite, but I liked the story a lot. The story was better in the room, but I didn't like the pacing and the structuring and the backtracking in 4, as I've said previously. Origins is my least favorite so far. So I would give it a little higher than a room and much higher than Origins. I just wasn't a huge fan of it. It seemed bland. But I just wanted to keep touching upon the games after I beat them. Next is Downpour. I have that already installed on my 360. Shattered Memories probably after that, and Book of Memories when I get my Vita after Christmas. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you watching me ramble and bullshit. I'm really enjoying the Silent Hill series. If you'd like to say anything or comment or talk to me about it, please do. And it's Vampire Mike from SegaCDUniverse.com signing out. Be good, guys. Have a nice holiday if I don't get back to you right away.